Folks in TV land, welcome to Focus on Liberia. This is online television. My name is Liberia, reporting from Liberia. In the compounds of the National Elections Commission, where today the final results will be given. The 2023 general elections held on October 10th here in Liberia. And the time is almost 4:30 in Liberia. And starting at 4:30, the chairperson of the national elections, together with co-commissioners, is here to provide information of the final results of the general elections held here in Liberia on the 10th of October. And here we have the observers, the international observers here present. We are awaiting the commissioner, chairperson of the National Election Commission. In a moment, here we will be starting. We have journalists of institutions here the conference room here. We provide information from the chairperson to their various institutions. So folks, wherever you are in our world, I'd like to welcome you. Sit and stay. Let's watch. Again, my name is Gwendolyn. Welcome. Following Radio Maria Liberia. What is it? Seems to be so for example well, that's the entrance to the conference room here, where you see the Liberian National Police guarding the commissioners. And these are some of the commissioners who are standing. Commissioner Commissioner Sayer, Commissioner Duke, at the entrance of the conference room. Journalists sitting, waiting to provide information to institutions. And I think the chairperson is coming in as we see everyone is moving with their face. The chairperson is walking in to the hall. Madam Devielso Lassana Brown. Chairperson, Madam Liberia Brown Masana working to share and she can say thank you to our others. The commissioners have been seated. At any moment from now, we will begin.
The Republic of Liberia, the National Elections Commission, Madam Chairperson, Madam Co-Chairperson and members of the Board of Commissioners, the ECOWAS Resident Representative for Liberia, Ambassador Josephine Program, local and international observer missions in Liberia, the Association of Liberian Journalists in the Americas, Alja for short, members of the INPEN, Religious Council here present, the Secretariat of the National Elections Commission, partners of the NEC, UNDPDI, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the Fourth Estate. Once again, we are pleased to welcome you on the compound of the National Elections Commission and to this daily press briefing following the 2023 general elections. The chairperson of the National Elections Commission is Madam Liberia Brown Masana, who will now address this conference. Madam Chairperson.
Good afternoon. In recognition of United Nations Day, I invite you to please stand for a moment of reflection. As the United Nations celebrates another year of unity and sustainable development toward global peace, the National Elections Commission of Liberia is reminded about NEC's commitment to this year's UN Day theme, quote, action for peace, unquote, by conducting free, fair, transparent, inclusive, and credible elections. The Commission's commitment to peace is also to put at the disposal of all candidates in the 10th October 2023 presidential and legislative elections the electoral dispute resolution mechanism through which their grievances will be heard and resolved according to the law. The words of UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, quote, peace is needed today more than ever before, unquote, stressing that, quote, it is our responsibility to help build that world of peace, sustainable development, and human rights for all, unquote. Happy UN Day to all. Madam Co-Chair, fellow commissioners, distinguished stakeholders, fellow Liberians, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to the headquarters of the National Elections Commission and to the Commission's daily press briefings. In today's briefing, the Commission will announce results of the elections in Nimba County District Number 4, Bureau, and the final nationwide results for the presidential, senatorial, and representative outcomes of the 10 October 2023 general elections. Members of the press, as you are aware, on 10 October 2023, Liberians went to the polls to elect their leaders, including a president and vice president, 15 senators, and 73 representatives. Election day, 10 October 2023, was characterized by a record high turnout of 1,947,155 voters, which constitutes 78.86% of the 2,471,617 total registered voters. This huge turnout is unprecedented in Liberia's modern democratic election history and is due in part to the Commission's successful transition from optical mark recognition OMR system to voter registration to the use of biometric technology for the registration of voters, which produced an excellent final registration roll for the 10th October elections. The Commission notes that these elections attracted much attention from some 10,000 national, regional, and international long-term and short-term observers that were accredited by the Commission to observe the elections. These observers were deployed across the 15 counties of Liberia, and they took stock of how the NEC implemented international standards and electoral best practices in conducting the elections in Liberia. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, following the close of the 10 October polls, the Commission in its daily press briefings informed Liberians and stakeholders about post-election day happenings, ranging from disruption of tally processes across the country to electoral malpractices by some temporary staff recruited by the NEC, specifically at the Monserrado Tally Center at the Samuel Kanyando Sports Complex. 5 temporary staff allegedly involved in malpractices were arrested by the police. Similarly, in Grand Cape County, 4 NEC temporary workers were arrested by the police for alleged electoral malpractices. In both cases, they were remanded into custody pending court trial. The names of these temporary workers are quarantined in the NEC database as they will not serve in any future elections in Liberia. In Nimba County, District Number 4, 2 polling places in Precinct Yolo 12 witnessed the disruption of the counting process when some individuals made away with ballot boxes, damaging their contents in the process. This led to the rerun of the 3 elections at the 2 affected polling places in that precinct. Despite these and other challenges, the Commission notes the completion of counting, tallying, and collation of the results from the 20 October 2023 elections in Yolo. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, before proceeding with the announcement of the results of the Commission of the elections, the Commission expresses thanks and appreciation to Liberians for voting in huge numbers. The Commission also extends its thanks to the United Nations ambassadorial missions to Liberia, the African Union and ECOWAS Commission for providing technical data and IT support, as well as logistical and other equipment and materials which strengthen the capacity of NEC to deliver on these elections. These partners are also appreciated for their intervention through various mechanisms, including the National Steering Committee on Elections, which advocated for the Commission's readiness to conduct the 10 October polls. The Commission also applauds the Ministry of Justice and the Joint Security for their steadfastness in maintaining peace, yea, their proactive and reactive responses to incidents that could have permanently disrupted the electoral process
but for their timely interventions. To the temporary staff as well as NEC employees and the NEC management team, we thank you for your diligence in the preparation and execution of your duty during the conduct of the 10th October polls. To the owners of properties that were used as voting precincts, the Commission remains grateful to you for your patriotism and selfless love for country. The Commission also applauds the general public and the general support of international, regional, and local organizations, including Democracy International, WION, ESA, ECC, etc., to the over 10,000 national, regional, and international observers who observed the 10th October 2023 presidential and legislative elections. The Commission's final commendation goes to the political parties and candidates generally for their peaceful participation in the 10th October polls. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, here now are the presidential, senatorial, and representative outcomes of electoral district number 4 Liberia County elections conducted recently. I will begin, and my colleague, Commissioner Awa, will join me. Liberia County, 736 polling places of a total of 736 polling places, constituting 100%. Alberton Junior Edward W. GDM, votes obtained 6,128, constituting 2.64%. Boyka Joseph N. UP, votes obtained 138,070, constituting 59.53%. Brown Junior Allen R. LRP, votes obtained 3,501, constituting 1.51%. Cummings Alexander B. CPP, votes obtained 2,592, constituting 1.12%. Freeman Simeon CM, MPC, votes obtained 2,481, constituting 1.07%. Gonglo Tiawanse LPP, votes obtained 17,024, constituting 7.34%. Kamara Senior Husseini F. Alpha, votes obtained 2,481, constituting 1.07%. Kiamo David G. B. DPPL, votes obtained 678, constituting 0.29%. Colleague Alexander N. RNC, votes obtained 617, constituting 0.27%. Kuyate Sheikh A. LFM, votes obtained 781, constituting 0.34%. Kroma Bedu Alema Independent, votes obtained 842, constituting 0.36%. Miller Richard Say, LFP, votes obtained 380, constituting 0.16%. Maniba Clarence K. Lionel, votes obtained 397, constituting 0.17%. Morris Roberts Friends Independent, votes obtained 518, constituting 0.22%. Nyanti Sarah Beslow All, votes obtained 411, constituting 0.18%. Tweeder William Ware DNA, votes obtained 1,257, constituting 0.54%. Turner Joshua Tong, NLP, votes obtained 835, constituting 0.36%. Leah George Manan CDC, votes obtained 50,427, constituting 21.74%. Wapo Jeremiah, 7 votes. Votes obtained, 1,319, constituting 0.57%. Yofi Luther M. Rebuilders. Votes obtained, 1,191, constituting 0.51%. Total valid votes, 231,930, constituting 100%. Total invalid votes, 16,422. Total votes, 248,352. I now invite Commissioner Awa to read the senatorial and representative votes from Nimba County District.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I present to you the National Elections Commission's Progressive Tally Reports consolidated for the Senate, Nimba County, today, Tuesday, October 24th, 2023. The Senate, Nimba. 736 polling places of the total of 736 polling places, constituting 100%. Candidates. Johnson Prince Yomi, MDR, votes obtained 128,437, constituting the valid votes of 54.92%. Tyen Junior Nyang, Independent, votes obtained 56,651, constituting the valid votes of 24.23%. Dual Roland G, CDC, votes obtained 20,015, constituting the valid votes of 8.56%. That concludes the Senate, Nimba County. We proceed with Electoral District 4, Nimba County. 84 polling places of the total of 84 polling places, constituting 100%. Candidates. Nancy S. Senior Ernest M. MDR, votes obtained 7,760, constituting the valid votes of 28.89%. Carbon Gongu L. CDC, votes obtained 7,755, constituting the valid votes of 28.87%. Kwanu Orlando M. NBC, votes obtained 2,047, constituting the valid votes of 7.62%. That concludes the returns from Nimba County. Madam Chair, I will listen.
Thank you, Commissioner Awa. Members of the press, the Commission, having completed the nationwide tally of votes with 100% of all polling places reporting, the following is the final presidential election outcome, which I now read. National Presidential Progressive Tally Report Consolidated. 5,890 polling places of a total of 5,890 polling places, constituting 100%. Alberton Junior Edward W. GDM, votes obtained 40,271, constituting 2.20%. Boyka Joseph N. UP, votes obtained 796,961, constituting 43.44%. Brown Junior Allen R. LRP, votes obtained 15,607, constituting 0.85%. Cummings Alexander B. CPP, votes obtained 29,613, constituting 1.61%. Fremont Senior CMMPC, votes obtained 13,205, constituting 0.72%. Bonglo Tiawanse LPP, votes obtained 26,394, constituting 1.44%. Kamara Senior Lucini F. Alco, votes obtained 35,988, constituting 1.96%. Kiamo David G. DPPL, votes obtained 5,086, constituting 0.28%. Collie Alexander N. RNC, votes obtained 4,398, constituting 0.24%. Kuyata Shek A. LFM, votes obtained 5,100, constituting 0.28%. Kroma Bedu Alema, Independent, votes obtained 5,991, constituting 0.33%. Miller Richard Say LFP, votes obtained 2,885, constituting 0.16%. Manivar Clarence K. Ligo, votes obtained 5,298, constituting 0.29%. Morris Robert Franks, Independent, votes obtained 3,363, constituting 0.18%. Yanti Sarah Beslo Ord, votes obtained 3,644, constituting 0.20%. Tweeder William Ware, DNA, votes obtained 11,184, constituting 0.61%. Turner Joshua Tom, NLP, votes obtained 9,813, constituting 0.53%. We are George Manning, CDC, votes obtained 804,087, constituting 43.83%. Wako Jeremiah Z. Votes obtained 9,149, constituting 0.50%. Yofi Luther N. Rebuilders, votes obtained 6,479, constituting 0.35%. Total valid votes 1,834,516, constituting 100%. Total invalid votes 114,639. Total votes 1,949,155. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the results of the 10th October 2023 polls show that the ticket of the Congress for Democratic Change, CDC, obtained the highest number of votes, 804,087, constituting 43.83%, followed by the ticket of Unity Party, which obtained 796,961 votes, constituting 43.44%. However, ladies and gentlemen of the press, Article 83B of the Constitution of Liberia requires that for any presidential ticket to win outright on the first ballot, that ticket must acquire at least 50% plus one of the valid votes cast. Article 83B further states that where no presidential ticket obtains at least 50% plus one, the two presidential tickets that receive the highest number of valid votes shall participate in a runoff election to be held on the second Tuesday following the expiration of the time provided for in Article 83C. with the results of the 10th October polls showing that no presidential ticket obtained 50% plus one vote, a runoff election is hereby declared to be held on Tuesday, 14 November 2023, between the two tickets that obtained the highest number of votes: the presidential ticket of the Coalition of Democratic Change (CDC), led by Mr. George Manawia, and the presidential ticket of Unity Party (UP), led by Mr. Joseph Nyuma Boyka. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, political campaign for the 14 November runoff election is hereby declared open today, 24th October 2023, and shall close on the 12th of November 2023 at 11:59 p.m. All of the results read can be found online, results.nec.liberia.org. I thank you.
Focus on Liberia. Today is the final announcement of the three general elections result. The conference held National Election Commission. Chairperson.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Well, thank you, Madam Commissioner. My name is Ayusi TV. Well, as per the various reports that came out during your many press briefings, I'm concerned with regard to the total number of ballot papers that were actually untouched. Can we get the figure?
We can get to the figures later, they're not before me, and I need to be exact.
Madam Chair, my name is Eric Kennedy, and I represent Order. Give me order when I know, including but not limited to the challenges and the circumstances that attended the voting pool. What lessons has the Commission learned, and what can you do differently, if anything, as we go through or have to go through the runoff elections in November? Challenges including the problem we have with transporting materials to Sinai County, people commandeering ballot passes in Lima, and all of that stuff. So what is the Commission planning to do differently so that we don't encounter those problems again? Thank you.
You want me to answer? You just want me to finish? I think basically, and this is unrehearsed, I think basically that one of the lessons that the Commission has learned is to ensure that all logistical options are on the table with respect to reaching hard to reach areas. In other words, we have to use boats to send some of our materials to the southeastern and northern region of the country. Specifically boats for the southeastern region because of access to the ocean and additional rugged vehicles to reach to places like Nimba and County.
Thank you. Madam Chair, my name is Henry Kamo and I represent the Front-Based Africa. Madam Chair, my question is, with evidence provided by this commission, where you reported that NEC workers were arrested for malpractices, should or would you consider this a fair elections you just conducted, especially where your temporary workers were involved with malpractices? And should the public trust you for the runoff, especially when you be using the same people, the same NEC workers?
I will answer your question by saying that we told that the NEC workers in the Monserrato Talley Center as well as in Cape Town were caught and turned over to the police. That's one action that we took. The second action we took was to ensure that whatever malpractices they were engaged in were reviewed and corrected on the spot. And if you say one of these elections is fair, I would say by the actions that we took to make corrections as we're going on, and the fact that we brought those problems to you and the Liberian people, and told you what corrective measures we put in place to address the different challenges that we have, I would say to you that the 2023 10th October elections were fair elections. Certainly, you should trust us today, tomorrow, and the day after.
All right, so Madam Commissioner, my name is Prince Mowa, and I report for Prime FM and focus on Liberia. So I have two concerns. One, now that the Commission has announced the final result and also announced date for a runoff elections, this issue was experienced during elections day. People had valid voter cards, their names were captured in the FRR, but when the polling places, they were told that others have voted in place of them. Is the Commission aware of that? If so, what was responsible for that? And what can the Commission do so that we cannot have a recurrence of that during the runoff elections? My second concern is we have recorded huge number of invalid votes, 14,000 plus invalid votes. What was responsible for that? If I got it figure correct.
Yeah, let me start with your last question. Invalid votes. There are multiple reasons why we normally experience invalid votes in elections. And this is not a Liberian thing. This cuts across most of the African countries. What might be different would be the number. In this case, we say it's 140,000 plus. So there are several reasons, but I'll just name a few. We learned along the way that the number of ballots, 3 ballots given to voters, some were confused and did not know what to do. It looked too much for them, so they folded them without marking them and put them in the ballot box. Then, invalid votes also comes about when Liberians decide, and I'll put it this way, to be vexed with a candidate that they don't like, and mark the person's face all over, sometimes they put some 4-letter words all over their faces. And I'm saying this because we have done a survey before, and we saw some of the things that Liberians put on those faces of candidates that they don't like. They don't want to see a person, so they want to scratch them off the ballot. Secondly or thirdly, some persons will mark outside of the box completely. There are just multiple reasons. We've been criticized for not conducting enough CVE to ensure that voters will mark their ballots the way how they are supposed to. So we'll take that correction. We'll do our best next time. But also too, I would say that when we formulate a budget to address most of these things, those of us who criticize now should be the ones to say to the legislature, give the people the money. Because every step of the way that we take, we pay for it. So if we next time have to go from door to door to explain to Liberians how to mark the ballot, we need to be supported financially. Then finally, I would say that to address civic and voter education in the long term, is to ensure that electoral information is integrated in the curriculum in all of the schools, including at university level. So people get to know how to mark the ballot, they get to know their rights and all of that. And they get to know not to be vexed with the candidate that they don't want to see. Because when you mark that ballot and you are vexed marking that ballot, you are simply saying, as for my ballot. Yes.
I was asking of people going on vote, and then they are captured in the FR, but then they went to the schools, they never understood the national audit program, and we saw that.
This is something that is new to me personally, because I have been receiving reports from many things that happen in the field. Some of them I went and saw myself. But this particular one that you're talking, it's not before me, it's not before the commission. But probably it may be alluding to the fact that those who were multiple registrants were placed in the back of the FRR. That booklet has two parts. The first part is for Liberians registered genuinely in a particular polling place, so they come first. Then those who committed the crime of registering more than once are placed in the back of the FRR. So there are two parts. One part for the poor people and the other part for those who committed crime. If you come and bring your card and say you come to vote, you are checked in both parts. If you are found in part 1, they look in part 2. And if you are in part 2 will say where you first registered, and the election workers will direct you to that place that you first registered. And you are supposed to go there, not to go to different other places that you did not register, to be looking for yourself where the other places are.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Kame Lomo. I work for the News Coverage Just. I would like to know how many electoral dispute cases before the NEC and how many of them have been disposed. 2, can we also know the budget needed for this runoff election? Thank you.
Those are 2 questions I cannot address immediately because the budget is not before me. And with respect to the number of cases, we know that we have received cases, something close to, I think about 5, thereabout, between 5 and 8. Some of them are being heard at the local magisterial level, and then the others are being heard here. And we started hearing them already, but we have not ruled in any yet. For the information that you need, we'll give them to you.
So 3 men taking.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. My name is Sibi. I'm because of the AFP and TW. I just want to know from you, 1, how is the Elections Commission considering the issue of inking the voters' fingers before casting a ballot or after, which approach will be used during the second round? My next question is, if these different disputes and now election result has been announced, what happens and how do the public get to know the actual findings from these investigations?
I will say to you that we conduct hearings here at the commission. And if you're interested and others have been, probably might want to come. What we try to control is that when you come as a journalist, you write what you see and hear. We will not encourage recordings. So you can also come. That is the press and any other persons who may want to come. Then what was your next question? Inking the finger before, we ink the finger before you cast the votes. Is that how you have to?
Yeah. And let me say that. The reason there is.
Hold on, please. The most experienced commissioner in the area of field coordination.
Thank you. The reason why we ink before you cast the vote, because when you cast the vote, that's the last aspect of the process, you have to be the center. And the time you take to drop your ballot into the ballot box, the ink have dried. And when the ink dries, it's a 6% idea you have voted. And the staff will monitor you while you are putting your ballot into the ballot box. Now the issue that you want to raise will be the stain. The stain will not affect the mark that person has placed on the ballot paper. No, it will not matter. Because once the ink is placed on your finger, it takes less than 3 seconds to dry.
Yeah, so talking about the numbers of invalid votes that are so huge and the kind of voters we have, there are recommendations coming from the public because at some polling centers, like old folks, like people who are not very literate about the voting process, in the process of polling, there are reports of these ink running through on other people that are asking whether the Elections Commission is considering that as maybe another approach of what to do, whether after the casting of ballots to avoid this number of invalid votes during the second round.
But if the ink is placed on for instance on the ballot paper, the mark of that person, the intent of that person is known by the presiding officer. So it's not known to invalid vote. It does not known to invalid vote.
Yes, can we just have it quiet? If you understand the question a little better and you want to say something about it, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so to the journalist question, I went to some of the polling places where the votes were being counted. And the poll watchers and the elect workers were declaring those ballot papers invalid because ink has spilled over, even though the intent of the voter was clear for the check mark, but because of some little mark on the other candidate box, those papers were declared invalid.
All right, thank you very much. Let's have one of our technical staff, who's the Deputy for Administration, share a little more light on this.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. The reason why we ink before you cast the ballot nowadays is that some people refuse to get inked. And once you shall have cast your ballot, there's no way that we have a remedy. So that's the reason why we say before you cast it, you are inked, so that you don't return. And we agree with what you said, but during the training, we will see what to do to make sure that the ink does not spill. But from my experience, people get inked after they cast their ballot. But in the past, some people cast their ballot, you say, come, let's ink you. They say, no, you can't ink us. What do you do in that case? You cannot withdraw the ballot from the box. So that's the main reason why we have transitioned from inking after casting to inking before casting. I hope you understand.
In other words, we thank you for that recommendation and we'll look into it.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner. I'm Nelson Colette, and I report for the Home Network. I have 3 concerns. The first one has to do with reports of trucking and another report of individuals purchasing voter registration cards. For the trucking and that, now, considering that elections are expected to be free, fair, and transparent. Let's speak to the aspect that has to do with free. What is the National Elections Commission doing to ensure that these issues are addressed? And I made specific reference to a candidate in Bon County, Morgana Flomo, who was heard on the local media this morning that he had issues with trucking and all of that. He reported to the National Elections Commission since July up to present. He's yet to receive a redress on that. what is, now that you've announced a runoff, how do you intend to address that situation? That's my first concern.
Okay, you pull it up, please.
Okay.
The issue of trucking. Now, everybody's business here. Everybody's business. Because it's your brother, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, get in a truck from one community and go to another community to where they do not reside. The Elections Commission's mandate is register Liberians as voters. Now, if we are to police people who were trucked, then it means that it's another mandate that we are delving into that is not prescribed by law. But we work with the LMP to ensure that the law that says you should register and vote, register to where you ordinarily reside, and it's in that same place that you are going to vote. We all should strive to ensure that this happens. And it's not the business alone of the Commission. This is a very difficult situation that any election finds itself in, and either we go back to the law for it to be revised to ensure that people who get in trucks, motorbikes, bicycles, some people can even move without riding any of those things, and they move in mass from communities. Now you know the difficulty in checking that. So maybe we need to petition the legislature to strengthen the law that speaks to trucking, and then perhaps all of us might be satisfied that the rest of us remain in our communities. Secondly, I would say to you, even in our advocacy, the awareness raising about people's rights to vote and to use the law as it says, you should register where you ordinarily reside, and it's that same place that you vote has been one of the key messages we have targeted different communities and to speak about in those civic and voter education exercises that we have conducted. Now, the issue about, you say people purchasing voter cards?
There are reports of that.
There are reports. So these reports, the NEC cannot substantiate them. You can substantiate these reports. But it's against yourself to sell your card. It's against yourself to give your card to anybody else other than you. Sure. Because it's with that card that you can exercise your franchise, you can make that decision to vote for who you want to be your president, your senator, and your representative. If you want to give your card to somebody else, that person cannot use the card because the person is not you. But the person buying your card can prevent you from voting. So we all need to be aware of this and I don't know, talk to our brother, sister, auntie, uncle, you know, the children.
And the last two concerns? Okay. So we saw that from the start of this process, for the first time, the BVR, the biometric voter registration, was introduced. What significant impact did that BVR have on this process to sort of curb the malpractices and all of that? And what's the status of the payment of those temporary staff? The last time we spoke of it, where are we now? Have they been paid?
The staff are being paid. One of the, and maybe my colleagues can join me too, the brain getting tired of it. I say to you, the biometric voter registration that we conducted captured your unique information, your unique feature, your face, your thumbprint, and the rest of the other information on your card. Your face and your thumbprint, even if you were a twin, will be different. Nobody else is you. That is so important. The BVR also, one person, the cleanup was necessary because some of our relatives went and registered more than once.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Madam Commissioner. My name is Jonathan James Norton, and I report for Ambassador Civil Liberia. In one of the press briefings, you mentioned that some of those who were to go at polling places on election day, they did not go, they didn't show up, so they were replaced by other people. And I visited a few of the counties. Voters had issue with those who were assigned those places, some of those. One, the person couldn't identify or couldn't even know what to do when it comes to somebody being pregnant who's online for 8 hours. Other people as well were not prioritized. And in one of those places, somebody stood online in the morning, went to the person and said, "Is this my line?" He said, "Yes." Only for the lady to reach at the door, almost 5-6 hours standing. They said, "No, you are not here, you are at another place," which raised serious contention. What is the election commission doing for such a thing not to occur in the runoff?
We will do everything humanly possible to train the staff to do the right thing. So probably what you may have experienced was unique to that one person who was also trained to recognize persons with disabilities as well as pregnant women, and others. So I would say that was just one piece. Next question, please.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner and the Board of Elections. My name is Moses Gazin from the BBC. One very important question. We said the second Tuesday after the legislative period for the first ballot. But the second Tuesday is not the 14th of November. Why? Is there any reason why?
The reason is every electoral or elections that happens, there is something in the law that says you need to give a period for people to digest what you have pronounced. And if at all someone is not satisfied, they can raise contention. So you need that 7-day period. So then you start counting. Understand what I'm saying? Then you start counting.
What the law says, the Constitution is the organic institution that governs everyone.
That is so correct. But we also have Supreme Court opinions that we look through and they make the decisions. And we live them to make the decisions here in the Commission. Next question, please.
Thank you. My name is Gerald, coordinator at Restaurant Front Page Africa. I want to follow up on a few of the questions you asked last week. One is about your data analyst that was accused of being partisan. And when we asked you, you said the CDC who found the accusation was yet to appear for the hearing. Did it appear? If no, what happened to your data analyst? Was he recused from the process entirely, or he was allowed to do his work?
Let me answer that question. Let me answer, please. We told you that a complaint was filed by the CDC to the Commission. That complaint is being processed. And to be processed means that the burden of proof and everything else that a complainant brings to the table will also have to be reviewed. So we say we have a complaint and we are processing it. The second part is that normally when somebody complains against you, you continue your work until the process reaches the point where you have to either recuse themselves. But let me also say that in the data center, we told you before that we had consultants, experts. We had 2 from the AU, 2 from ECOWAS, 2 from UNDP. Now the way it works inside it is that everyone gets a buy into what a problem is or a contention and all of them decide before processing the data. So it's not just one person calling the shots. Yes.
Thank you. So finally, last week you mentioned that the Commission already has the budget for the possible runoff. Now that you have announced or runoff, what is the budget for the runoff?
We'll give that figure in due time. So we take another 4 questions and we'll call it a day.
My name is Liberia and I report for local forces and children. Madam Chair, what's the level of coordination between the state security and the NEC? Because during the recent elections, some of us journalists were denied access to some of the polling places on the order of 1 or 2.
I can assure you that the Commission will continue to provide that information to the LP, that you have accreditation and you should be allowed.
My name is Ina S. Epe. I report for the Daily Observer newspaper. A follow-up to the invalid vote question. So I would like to know whether the invalid vote that was recorded will be audited to know whether it was as a result of overthinking or it was just because voters didn't like certain candidates and mess up the ballot papers.
We explained in a previous question that it's the usual procedure or process that the National Elections Commission engages in to do a survey after these elections to know why we have this number of invalidates. And once that is done, we share it with you.
Madam Commissioner, thank you so much for the hard work. My name is Archie Boan, and I report for the Liberia Television. I have 2 concerns, and one has to do with those electorate that were involved in double voting. Since the onset of the result, the provisional results of pronouncement, we haven't heard from the election commissioners as it relates to those who were involved into double voting. Since then, have you observed any case and how far you have gone with those cases? Because when we were in the field, we observed a lot of cases of those that were involved in the double voting. For transparency's sake, I think it is prudent enough for the National Elections Commission to flag this issue out, because this alone will put fear in those who be electorates who will be involved in that. And my second concern.
Let me answer you that, please. The issue of double voting, if it comes by way of complaint to the Commission, I can assure you that we will deal with it.
Yeah, so the second question is, before I go to the second question, so you are alluding that since then there have been no case of double voters.
No, I just told you that if we get those complaints, we'll deal with them.
Okay, now to the second issue.
Because if we complain, formally, it becomes legal. It becomes a legal process. So when we get through that, we'll let you know.
Okay, the second concern has to do with most of the startups that are assigned to those polling places. They are not aware of the fact and the role that journalists play when it comes to the elections period. I'm saying to say that we journalists were denied of entering into polling rooms when they were counting and voting. We were only informed that we are not allowed to carry our camera to voting booth, but we were denied by staffers from entering into the polling rooms to observe how the elections are being conducted. So I want to know as to whether there's any form of education provided to staffers on the role of journalists during the election period.
Okay, let my colleague who knows about the business, let him expound on it a little bit. Commissioner,
let me say that the journalists should know the do's and the don'ts. During the electoral process, we encourage journalists to go around, because journalist is a moving person who go around to observe the process. But when it comes to the counting and polling process, the observers That is accredited to that particular center and what are in that center to observe the counting and polling process, counting and sorting and reconciliation process. Because when something happens down there, you roaming around the area, you don't know exactly what happened down there. You're not be reporting the facts as compared to someone who has been there from the morning up to the time counting, reconciliation, and something will be taking place. So again, the issue about the do's and don'ts is very important. Some of the journalists, very good professional people, but some of the journalists will just go to the center and look at the police and say, I'm a journalist. I need answer to this thing. And some of the journalists were even reporting live while the things were taking place. So the do's and the don'ts are very important in the process. We don't have problem with you going through the process to observe what is taking place there. But when it comes to the issue of sorting, reconciliation, and counting, that's a dedicated issue, and people, that's why we encourage the party agent, the independent candidate, the national, international, to be there so that when anything happens, that they can be easily solved as compared to you moving around. You don't have the facts about what are taking place there. Sometimes the little issue that occurred there, the presiding officer has already solved that problem. You can't say, I'm a journalist, you want to go back to this. Okay, so sometimes some of the journalists can go start the process. And I don't think it's a good proceeding. We can encourage you, and that's why when you are moving around as a journalist, go to the presiding officer and say, presiding officer, I assigned to this polling place. I want to be there for counting, reconciliation, and sorting. At that point in time, you're not a journalist, but rather you are an observer, and you are there to observe the process. But when you carry your tie on the polling and counting procedure as a journalist, then you can, then sometimes the presiding officer will follow the do's and don'ts and say, oh, can you please leave because this place is assigned to people who are assigned as a party agent, independent candidate advisor.
Are you saying
I'm saying when you are a journalist, time for counting, sorting, and reconciliation, you are to tell the presiding officer from the beginning and say, I will be here for the counting and at that time, you're not a journalist, you are an observer.
Hello, please. I can understand because I worked 20 years as a broadcast journalist and I understand exactly where you're coming from. But let me say to you that we usually conduct training for journalists to cover elections. So we will remember now that it's critical to process you in the training so we can know, or you will be able to know what your needs and bounds are in terms of how journalists can participate or to cover an elections, how far you can reach into the polling place and all that kind of information that is needed. So I guarantee you that this will happen. Because
run off? They will have it before you run off?
My friend, I didn't recognize you. I am assuring you that we'll do something about it. Yeah, so the agitation, don't worry about it. It's good.
Yes, sir. So we'll take the final question.
Well, of course, my name is George Robinson Jr. For Western Design and Madam Commissioner, thank you also for the hard work. So I would like to know from you exactly looking at some of the electoral malpractices, how does that actually fit that with your strength and weakness?
So I would say they're not weakness. You understand what I'm saying? If we employ temporary staff, we train them to do a particular job. They go to do the job and they deviate from it. The thing is, it's not a commission that told them to go do that. They decided to do something otherwise. And this is why we informed you that yes, they are under the Elections Commission in terms of being temporary staff to conduct the elections, you understand? But they deviated from those instructions that we gave them. And this is why they found themselves being arrested by the police, incarcerated, and on their way to court which they yet. But I'm saying to you, 32,000 Liberians, we expect them to be neutral. And even if you were not neutral there, the fact that you signed up and you signed an oath, the NEC oath, that you will conform to the statutes or whatever, to conduct elections and you deviate from there, it's a great thing. Great.
I'd like to say thanks to you for coming. I'd like to say thanks to the members and chairperson. Thank you.
I have stood up more than 45 minutes. I have held my hand in this man I will not accept this. It is a disgrace. We have met with you all properly. We have interacted with you. We have our highest regard. How dare him not recognize me? This is my fault.
We apologize.
I know. I want this as a disgrace.
We apologize.
It's a disgrace.
We apologize.
He saw me. I sat down for the longest. Eventually, I had to stand up for 45 minutes. How dare him? How dare him? How dare him? Okay, you're a journalist as high as the chair. Okay? Of the anti-corrupt. We're situation room. Okay? Don't you feel like this? Don't look at that. I'm a former senior government. What is this? What is this?
Conference room.
We have Madam Banking King Akurele, former Minister having some problem here of not recognizing or to ask few questions here. So this is it. Though the commission have apologized,
a long time, even though the commissioner, the chairperson, apologized to her, and she's still expressing
what can we do? What can we do about the border area? That is very important that you all give some thought to this. Okay? This is a disgrace. My name is Ulubange King Akabele. No, man, don't go into anything I said was going on.
Welcome to the media. Let's go downstairs, please.
I've got nothing to say. I said what I had to say.
Maybe you didn't pick up well when you have to say.
That's your problem. That's not mine.
What's your statement?
Yeah, that was what she was talking.
Madam, we love to speak to the press on the issue related to what just transpired. I'm pleased to give you the microphone to ask a question.
Olubanke King Akerele, former foreign minister, board chair of Angie Brooks, okay? Member of the Women's Situation Room. Finish. There's nothing else.
Mr. Akerele, are you sure the NEC will address the concern?
There's no issue of concern. I told them straight what my issue was. I commended them on the issue of the, explanation of the invalid votes. I told them it was a very good explanation. They should let people know, put it in the papers. And then I raised my concern about the trucking on the border areas. That's all. But I want no nothing else from you. It's very clear. Okay? Finish. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you. Goodbye. 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 Thank you. Very clear.
Thank you. How prepared is the situation for the runoff?
What's the problem?
All right, folks. I'm here with my colleague, Grenadine Director. Together, we are doing this live broadcast here at the Election Commission headquarters. Yeah. So we are still here trying to speak with Liberians, mainly politicians. Former Lofa County Representative Moses Colley is here, and also candidate of this Lofa senatorial elections who just lost the election. All right, welcome to the media. How are you doing?
How was it just in the election?
Well. All right, so you came forward on hearing, you filed a complaint to the Elections Commission after the results were announced that didn't go your way. Tell us, how did the hearing go today?
Well, to be specific, our global chairperson, who happened to be considered as a manager of the Coalition for Democratic Change, Mabake Molu Jr., filed a complaint on our behalf as a senatorial candidate of Lofa County on the CDC ticket that indeed in Lofa County, in few polling places, Lofa has 424 polling places, but out of the 424, we observe, from the pieces of information from our observer, that about 9 to 10 polling places has some discrepancies and some irregularities. So on the basis of that, Moro Molu filed a complaint on our behalf, and so we are here to go through the democratic process.
So how are we now? How's the process so far?
Well, it's proceeding well because it is alleged that our opponent got 37,621 and we got 37,200. So we just want to see the justice, so that they can go back to where we have the suspicion. So
what's the suspicion? What's the specific area you have some concern? What happened? What went wrong?
Well, our poll watcher has informed us that for example, the intent of the voter is to put their thumb or check, either the logo of the party or the face of the candidate or in the box. So whenever they saw, the thumb of our people, Lofa County is an area that most of the voters, they are not lettered. So they will put their thumb, on my face, or on the face, or on the logo of the party, and the PO, the presiding officer, will declare to be invalid. And if it happens to my my opponent wants to consider to be valid. So those are things that we want to go through. It's very simple. We are just saying, hey, go back as per the allegation, go and recheck. We got 424. Out of 424, we say go and look at 10 places, and you having problem with it.
I stand to be corrected, but I do not know whether there's a precedent case where the Elections Commission had announced a winner, and there is a rerun to rerun our election.
No, it's not a rerun. We are not calling for a rerun for the record. Okay. We are not calling for a rerun.
So
we just say recount.
Oh, recount.
Recount. It's not a rerun. No. Okay. We don't want to get too much headed to the Election Commission because we're going to the second round, runoff. So we just say go and recount, and that recount may take less than a few hours.
The final question would be: the commissions are announced the final results. Election campaign opens today and closes on the 12th. You are, candidate for the CDC. Lofa County is one of the 20 areas that we're going to be focusing on, looking at the former vice president coming from there, and the CDC got men there now for the 2023 elections. What can you say? How are you going to treat Lofa this time around?
We want to assure you that the 27% that President we have got in Lofa, we are going to push that up to 35 to 40%. And I want you to mark that word today. In 2017, President we have got 7%. Now in 2023, he got 27%. In the second round, we want to assure you, with the team that we have, we're such a team, across Lofa County, we want to assure you that the margin is going to be narrow between the opponent, Ambassador Parker and President Weah.
So what's the last question? If we could not do that in the first round?
On the basis of our work and on the basis of our being so meticulous, because we have just noticed that a lot happened, and we're going to be far-sighted, we're going to be very, very meticulous to make sure that we mend our votes.
I think I look at your voice and I understand that basically you are not really wanting to probably be announced as the winner, but I think you're looking at the merit system.
Well, we want to look at the merit system. When you go through the electoral process, you expect anyone to win, but it should be on the basis of merit. It should be on the basis of fair results. So all we are asking for, and I think every Liberian should embrace this. Instead of taking people to the street, we have chosen to come through the process of hearing, through the democratic process, and we want to encourage every Liberian to practice what we are doing, compared to going to the street to involve yourself, into violence.
NEC have announced the runoff elections. What is the prediction?
Well, my prediction is that we did it before, and we're going to do it again. President Weah is going to be re-elected for the next 6 years to come. So it's not true. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That will come up from the region.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for following us. My name is Prince. This is how we call a day on this broadcast. Thanks for being there. We are still at the commission's headquarters. Okay.
It's a battle, and he wrote a complaint to NEC, and NEC is looking at it, and there's due process. It's no monologue.
But firstly, people watching want to know who you are, your name.
Well, my name is Momo Saras, and I am the presumed winner of the central candidate. Central elections in Lofa County. So the name is Momo Saras.
So your result has been challenged. Is that something that bothering you?
No, it's not something that bothers me. We got a talent sheet. We know we won the elections. We didn't participate in any talking. We didn't participate in any manipulation through cash. The people of Lofa County voted.
Okay.
If you look at us, simple people like us who haven't been in politics, but just voted based on their leader. We never participated in anything illegal. Voted when we got Guineans and Saronians partaking in our elections. We didn't do that. The people of Lofa County voted. But the complaint from what we heard that it's actually against POs, that is the presiding officers. The complaint was that some invalid vote were supposed to be valid on behalf of Moses Cody, but it was invalid. So the complaint is not against me as a winner, it's against the PO. So they will have to defend it. But the lawyers...
Why is it? So you don't have a case?
I don't have a case. I'm just here to observe the hearing. I don't have a case. The case is not against me.
This is Arena TV.
Yes.
Your opponent is calling for recount. Will you still maintain your position as a winner?
I'm even going higher.
All right. So you contested in Lofa County as an independent candidate. You've been declared winner by the NEC, even though the results were challenged, calling for recount rather. The NEC has announced final result, and you will be a very perfect key player in the runoff, because looking at you, an independent candidate who won the county, all the political parties, the two political parties will be running onto Mr. Momo Saras. What's the direction? What can you say on this, on the media?
I won over 37,000 votes in Lofa, first in A county. This is the first time for the independent candidate to win senatorial race in Lofa. Everything is unprecedented. I ran my campaign telling my people that I'm an independent candidate. And I promised them that I would be independent all through my 9 years in the Senate. So on the issue of runner, I remain independent.
The people will be waiting for your direction.
Listen. My supporter has a right to vote for whichever candidate they want. I do not have any influence that. You see, Team Cyrus is made of different political parties. We have CDC in our executive. We got the Unity Party in our executive. We got CPP and the other political parties. So those partisans or those leaders have got the opportunity to vote for who.
Are you remaining neutral?
I am neutral. I am independent until the 9 years I serve in the Senate.
You've been your supporter ahead of this run-up election.
These people should vote on their conscience and vote of competence. Let them vote Lofa County.
So the need of Momo Sarah been around for a very long time, especially in the sporting activities. Now you find yourself into the political arena. How do you speak to that?
Sometimes people diversify based on the wish. Look, I went to the Senate not by my own volition, it's the people's will. You remember the by-election? I was coerced to run. The people of Lofa County registered me at the NEC, at the National Election Commission. And I took a survey and the people of Lofa said, I have worked so hard in the sea of war in Liberian's leadership at the Senate. They wanted me to come and participate. We went through the by-elections. We didn't make it, but we did very well. And this time around, we went. And this is my 7th time contesting, and I won.
What do people of Lofa to expect from you in your first 90 days?